Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today we are beginning the Arizona portion of the Ghost Witness series. And I also want to say that I started a new the Ghost Witness channel. Okay, but the Ghost Witness videos are still going to be on my original channel, Scatterbrainsyl. So if you want to watch them on Scatterbrainsyl, or if you want to go to the Ghost Witness, either way you can watch these videos. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so we're going to talk about Arizona today, and the first video I'm going to talk about is going to be the Hollywood-esque experience that I alluded to in my overview. So that we will talk about that one first. And I had many ghost experiences in Arizona, so that's going to be the first one. And that's the only one out of all the ghost experiences that I've ever had that were the kind of weird, creepy sort of, Hollywood-ish type of vibe, okay? So that's the only one. Now, before we talk about the actual ghost experience, I just want to describe the place that I lived in Arizona first. And this is just for people who have never been to Arizona or Phoenix, so they can kind of get an idea of the ambiance there and what it looks like, and therefore it makes more sense when I'm going to describe my experiences. Okay, so the main difference over there is that, as opposed to here, in the East Coast, in the West, like Arizona, Nevada, California, places like that, they tend to have walls. Like newer subdivisions will have walls around them, around the yards, and apartment complexes and condo complexes. Whereas here we have fences, we have like wood stockade fences, chain link fences, but over there they have like concrete block fences, walls, I'm sorry. And so that's the main difference. Now, the walls are usually like comprised of, depending on, obviously the subdivision, but usually they are, the walls are like a sandy color to kind of match the earth around it. So like it's usually like a yellowish sandy color or like a reddish color, okay? And then outside of the wall, if the wall is like the person's backyard, which is walled in, if it backs up to a street, then it usually will have landscaping in front of it. So it's usually going to be, some low bushes and some trees, or maybe some palm trees. But a lot of times it's like the native trees. There's a green tree there with a green trunk. I can't remember the name right now. Different trees like that. And that's the main tree, actually, that you see everywhere. So it's like, okay, you're going to see a wall, then landscaping, then the sidewalk, then the street. Okay, and even businesses are walled in. So it's not just like a personal property. It's every property, because they want to have like a kind of continuous similarity, I suppose you could say. And so everything is kind of orderly, and then, everything looks the same, with the landscaping, and so everything it's like, similar. Everything looks nice and neat and clean. I think that's what they're going for. So when I first moved there, I actually was getting lost a lot because, like I said, everything looks the same. The only difference is the actual street sign. Okay, so like, you're driving down the street and it's just walls and, some landscaping, and then you come to another street and it's walls and landscaping, so everything is just, very similar, okay, but it gives it like a pleasant effect, I suppose. Anyway, enough about that. So, all right, so I want to describe where I lived also, because I want to have the contest that I talked about in the overview of who's that ghost, naming who the ghost is, because like I said, a lot of these experiences that I had, the people were modern. Okay, so somebody knows who they are. So I lived in North Phoenix and Northwest Phoenix. So the main north-south road was 35th Avenue. About a mile to the north was Bell Road, and then maybe, I don't know, like a tenth of a mile south was Greenway Boulevard. So I lived off a little side street from 35th Avenue, and then my apartment looked out on a business parking lot. And beyond the parking lot of that business, there was a wall, okay, and then there was the street. And there was a wall around the business too, so that directly underneath my unit was a little green area, and then a wall, then the parking lot, then the business, then another wall, then 35th Avenue, okay? So that's where I lived, and I have to get that out of the way because that is where I saw a lot of ghosts, okay, in that very confined area. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about today, this is video number, is it 7 in the Ghost Witness series? And so this is in Arizona, and this is They Had No Faces. They had no faces. Okay, so I was sick. I needed to be in the hospital, and I needed to have surgery. So even though like I was ill, I still felt okay. And I was walking my usual, form of exercise. And however, I was staying close to, what's that? Some bird. Anyway, I was staying close to where I lived because of my illness. So what I was doing was walking from stop sign to stop sign. So maybe 5 minutes to one, turn around, come back, 5 minutes, then back and forth, back and forth. And so I did that, and I was doing that at night. And so this particular night, okay, this was very strange. So I was going back and forth, and it was nighttime, like I said. This was not that late. This was in the winter. And so maybe this was 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that. But there were the children, that the people lived there that had kids, they were in bed, so there was not a lot of people outside. There was basically nobody outside. I was just going back and forth, and then I went in. So I was walking back and forth, and I had just turned around from 35th Avenue, and I was heading in the other direction. So I was heading west on my little side street. And so all of a sudden, these two people crossed the street, 2 people. And one of them, and this was like a little side street, okay? This is not like an avenue. This was not like the 35th Avenue was actually 6 lanes, okay? 3 going north and 3 going south. This was just a 2-lane road, okay? So these 2 people crossed the road in front of me, but they were not that close to me. They were maybe 10 yards away from me, 15, something like that. So they both, 10 yards, let's say 10, because they weren't that far, but they weren't like right up by me, okay? And so they crossed the street leisurely, and then they got to the little sidewalk, and I still had not come up to them, okay? So they got to the little sidewalk on the other side, and they both turned together in unison. They turned together and faced me, and there was nothing. There was darkness here, like where their faces should be. It was just dark. And they were dressed in hoodies. They both had hoodies on, and like gray hoodies, like, not black, but dark colored hoodies. I couldn't tell if they were male or female, or one was a male, one was a female. I couldn't tell. One was a little taller than the other, but they were like maybe as tall as me. And I'm 5'6", so maybe they were about my height. And then they both turned. They stopped on the sidewalk, turned in my direction, and they had nothing here. There was just black. And I just looked, and I just, I didn't do anything. I didn't really respond in any kind of way. I just looked to the side, looked at them, and I just kept walking. And I just wanted to finish, I wanted to do my walk. I'm very sort of militant about that. Like, I want to do my exercise. I want to get a certain amount of minutes. That's how I am. I'm a weirdo, like this is something that I want to do. I want to do this every day. So anyway, I just kind of look, and I kept walking, and I didn't turn my head to look back. I didn't do anything. I just kind of looked, right? And so I went to the other stop sign, which was not far, maybe another 30 seconds or so, turned around, and they had completely vanished. Now, they could have walked up this tiny little driveway to this little strip mall that was right across the street. They could have done that, okay? They could have also walked behind this little development that was like backed up to that strip mall, okay? They could have done that. But why would they stop and just turn and look at me? Like, why, or turn towards me? Why would they do that? So I don't have an answer to that. But that was a creepy experience. I do believe that was a ghost experience. And this is my theory. But I have disproved my own theory, okay? So basically, my theory was I was ill. I was sick. I needed to have surgery. I actually had to have blood transfusions, okay? And I think at that time, when I saw those figures that had no faces, I had not had my blood transfusions yet. So my theory is that the ghosts knew that I was sick, that I could literally have died, okay? People die by bleeding to death, right? And I was bleeding to death. So I believe that they were ghosts, that they crossed, they turned to me, they both had hoodies, no faces, and then it's like they knew I was gonna die. And I actually could have died, but obviously I didn't, okay? So I think that what happened is they knew that I was close to death. But when I got better and had surgery and everything, then I continued having ghost experiences. So that's my theory, and I kind of disproved my own theory there. But I think in that particular situation, I think that's what happened, because that was a creepy one. It was something that did not happen again, and it was strange. So anyway, that's what happened. So tell me what you guys think of this. Do you think the same as what I'm thinking? Do you have another idea? So feel free to comment down below, and I will see you in my next video.